What's up and welcome to Champions of Lore, a show about all the kick-ass stories behind some of Idle Champions' coolest campaigns and characters. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific... That's the right time, right? Yeah, Wednesday. I always screw these up. Every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on twitch.tv/CND Games, or later on your favorite podcast service, B. Dave Walters and Erin M. talk about all the Idle Champions lore that's fun to know about. If you're here with us live in the chat, you can leave a question that I, Treavor Bettis, will ask them later in the show. But until then, Erin, B. Dave, take it away.
I just would like to say I reject linear time and all the other lies of the before times.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, hi, I'm Erin M. I am the author of the Brimstone Angels saga and a content designer for Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms. I also play Cecilia on Dungeon Scrawlers, and I played Havilar in Trials of Mount Tiamat.
That may become relevant. Oh.
What? B. Dave Walters, I say words about things. I inflict emotional trauma on the Trials of Mount Tiamat, and you can find me wherever fine streaming content can be located. We just finished the adventure, and 3 of the 5 party members were unconscious by the end, so great.
Yeah, hey, you know, no one died. Much.
Much.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Only mostly dead, and mostly dead is partly alive.
Yeah. I will say at the top of the show right here, this is going to be very spoilery for the first 3 episodes of Idle Champions Presents The Trials of Mount Tiamat. However, even if you watch this whole episode, I guarantee you watching those 3 episodes, if you haven't seen them, is going to be a joy knowing full well what's happening, because it's a chaotic mess in a good way.
A lot happens. And again, yes. Don't blame me, blame the dice. It was RNG. It was RNG that turned on all of you, not me. You say that
out of one side of your mouth, out the other side, you're like, I'm the evilest DM there is. So...
Well, you see, the thing I love about B. Dave is there'll be moments where he's just like, nah, you know what? Reroll that with advantage. And then there's other ones just like, yeah, that totally hits you for 94 damage and you can't get out of it.
Iron fist in the velvet glove. Yes, I contain multitudes. Absolutely.
I feel like there's a goal here to at some point win like kindest DM and most evil DM the same year.
Like, you know, it's a life goal. I did tell him this is true. I was like, don't even nominate me for most evil again. My work here is done. But you know, if there is like, you know, most feels DM or something, you know what I mean? Like, I need there to be a certain upwelling of hope, because only then can I take it from them.
You need you know the Devil Award and the Angel Award to sit on your shoulders.
It's true. There it is. Yeah. Yep.
There you go.
Yep.
So yeah. We're going to talk about the first 3 episodes, but I was wondering, would it be possible to get a recap of said episodes? Because I may or may not have made the code for this episode Havilar recap.
Joke's on you, I don't feel like it.
No! Okay, I'll do it. No.
Okay,
I need the Havilar recap. I just keep doing these shows for the Havilar recaps after, just to hear Havilar say what happened afterwards.
I realize I'm gonna have to make sure I watch all of the other. I mean, I wanted to kind of watch it. I wanted to watch it anyway, just because. But I'm also like, oh, I'm gonna have to, because if we do another one of these, like, I'm gonna need to be able to recap with some heart, not just be like, here's what I read in the summary.
Yep.
Okay.
You know.
So ready for me to try to remember everything.
My body's ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do remind me if I skip over something important.
Oh yeah, we'll be here.
Just,
we'll be here.
Just because.
I'm muting my mic until then.
No, because I want to see where you laugh. Okay, so this whole thing started because the Cult of the Dragon was messing around, and they think it's a good idea to bring Tiamat back, and they think they sort of brought her back, but not all the way back. I fell asleep during that part of the meeting. But what's important is I got put on the team to go in and blow up the mountain that they were bringing her back on, which they have decided to call Mount Tiamat, which I think is a little presumptuous. So I think this is great, because one of the bedtime stories my hen always told me was about the Tyrant of Tyrants and the broken mountain. And so this is cool because a bunch of Dragonborn go down in the mountain and they threw this thing, is like an eyeball of a Titan, maybe, into the volcano and it exploded. And this is basically that, except without eyeballs. So, actually, spoiler alert, there are eyeballs.
Lots of them.
And they explode, but in a more targeted way. So, they gave us this bag. It's a bag of holding, and it's full of like so much smoke powder. And I was gonna hold the bag, but then Averin took the bag from me and made me think I was holding the bag. And then Brig took the bag from Averin, and Averin thought he was holding the bag. This is gonna be important later. So that's another thing I should tell you. So this was our team. We had me and my glaive, and I brought Zuni, but she left. And we had Averin, who's like a big skeleton wearing a tree thing. And I liked him, but he thought Asmodeus was my dad. And I was so confused because I know Mehen has yelled at him. I don't know what he thought was going on, but it wasn't what was going on. And then it was Celisa Storio, who is an extremely badass paladin. And everybody listens to her, and I think that's amazing. Also, she has a dog too, so I think we might be able to be best friends. But hers is a direwolf puppy named Fenris, and is smaller than Zuni. But so she had to play gentle. And then it was Baloth, who is a drow sorcerer and entertainer, and the guy who defeated that wizard. I still think his name is Alabaster Booty Clap, but everybody laughs when I say it, so it might be something else. And who else? It's Brig Hellclaw! And Brig is new to the team, but he was very important. He is both a rogue and a bard, which I love because he's all sneaky, and then he's all, everybody look at me. And that takes a lot of confidence. So, all of us went down into the mountain, and the first thing we found was a big lake of sad. It was this gross black lake of depression. And nobody wanted to go in it, which was good because we had a job to do. And we did a bad choice and we split up. And so Celise and Brig and Baloth rode the magic carpet, and Averin and I rode Zuni, and we went separately. And out of the sad lake came these wraiths. I hate wraiths now. On the magic carpet, they did amazing things. They were like, pew, pew, zoom, zoom, zoom. And their wraiths got quick. On our side, the wraiths were like, hey, Averin, give us that tiefling girl. And this is where I start to like Averin, because Averin was like, no, that's a bad idea. And then you blasted them with a wall of light. And I had never seen that spell before. I didn't know how it worked. And I thought, I don't want to try to jump in that and get smacked in the face because that's embarrassing. So recently, I got this cool artifact. It's the Black Axe of Nana Sin. And I figured Farida can make a pact with like a devil. I can make a pact with an axe that might still have part of a moon god in it. He's cool. It's fine. And so I tried to Eldritch Blast those rays. And it was very disappointing. I don't think this is necessarily for me. But the axe is still pretty cool, so I'm going to stick with it for now. And there were some other parts that were useful. But I fell in the lake. That's the part that's also embarrassing. Zuni and I fell in the lake. And then I did use a cool thing, and I Misty stepped out of the lake, I think. I Misty stepped a couple times. They're blurring together. And I did chop the wraiths pretty good, but then they got me back, and it sucked all the life out of me. And guys, I didn't want to do this anymore. But we had to because the wraiths don't let you call timeout. So we fought the wraiths and we got back out, and I was really, really, really hurting. So I had to use like all of the healing magic to like be able to keep going. And that's when I sent Zuni home with the imps because she was also very badly hurt. And we had only gotten the first part of the mountain. So I don't want to know what comes next. But what did come next was this big room, and there was this crazy wind underground, swooping around like this, and it was very dangerous. So, but somebody remembered, I don't remember who remembered, that if you wait on this kind of storm and then you go real fast, you can get across without getting hurt. So that's what we did. And we used Baloth's magic carpet because it's really fast, guys. and it's soft. It's got this nice shag that we could hold on to. So we went zoop across and made it on the other side. Oh wait, I forgot, because I think it was before that this little guy came looking for Baeloth, and that happens frequently on adventures. Someone comes up yelling, "Mr. Baeloth, Mr. Baeloth!" It was an adorable mushroom. It was so cute, guys. It was a little weird because mushrooms aren't supposed to talk, but I don't know. There's lots of things in this world I don't know about, so, and nobody else was surprised. So he came and he brought Baeloth a present, which was mortar and pestle, and I don't know what that did. But that's okay. I didn't have to know. So we left Puff, and maybe Puff took Zuni. Did Puff take Zuni? Puff took Zuni. It wasn't the imps. I got mixed up. Guys, this was a lot. I'm lucky I remember my name. So we got through the storm, and then there were some dragons. And to be fair, we were all prepared for there to be dragons, but I was still a little surprised because I was very tired and hurting. Anyway, so we got into this ice cave, and there are these two dragons, and they're arguing with each other. I don't remember their names. Ossifrug, Applefig, something like that. And Oil Slick. I speak Draconic, and those are still pretty uncommon names, I think. But they were gonna they wanted to stop us because they're fans of Tiamat, and we're not fans of getting killed by Cone of Cold. So they were arguing about who was better, and so we leaned into that because I don't know if you know, there's this thing called sibling rivalry where your sister drives you nuts.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
I mean, no, I would. That's what I'm saying. I really do. You know about it? So we just were like, oh, you guys probably should figure this out. And also, Brig, I forgot before that, Brig sang this amazing song, and he did remember their names, and they were in the song to convince them to listen, which they did, which is what's amazing about bards. But then they started fighting over who was better, because who would be the star of the next song, maybe. And then the cave started falling, and we all got hit by stuff, and that was bad. But we made it out. We got to the other side. We were going to go down this tunnel. Oh, and we found a map on this dead body, and the map said that we had to stay focused. But the problem was when we were going through the tunnel to get to the next cave, this lady showed up, and she was all like twirling a flower, and she's all like talking in this very calm, convincing way. She sounded like Lorcan, but like double, triple Lorcan. Where you're saying stuff, and you're like, that makes sense, but also you're saying it in a way that makes me think I shouldn't listen. She was very complimentary, and she was like, you shouldn't do this, and you should listen to me, and I want to rule the whole world. And then she told me a secret, and she said, someone wants my soul. And it was, anyway, that's when I realized this was probably Tiamat. I think maybe I missed some clues before that, but it was pretty clear at that point. And then I might have sassed her. I might have told her she had a lame nickname, a kind of crummy nickname. And then she turned us all into kobolds. Silly kobolds. So we didn't do a good job staying focused for a bit, but in my defense, Brig is an amazing juggler. And then Puff showed up again and was very confused. But fortunately, Baeloth reminded him that he doesn't pay him very much. So that's how he knew that was Baeloth. And then he gave us, what did he give us? Why did Puff come? I was very distracted by the juggling. I don't know how to juggle, guys, and I really want to learn now. Do you guys think Brig would teach me how to juggle?
I think so.
I'm going to ask him later. I genuinely don't remember why Puff came and gave us something.
He basically just came back to remind you all about to stay focused and the peril ahead.
The irony of it all.
Yeah, right. The little Mike in it had to that you were about to head into a mushroom forest was like, Yep.
So, okay. So that's probably why I didn't remember, because we didn't stay very focused. We got on the magic carpet and we flew and we went into this cavern, and the cavern was full of glowing mushrooms. And Farida would yell at me, but Brig picked some and said, "Eat these," and we did. And it turns out, Farida, we were right. They were great, and they made us faster and stronger and better. And that was great. But the thing was that there was something in the air, and I wasn't thinking the clearest, but in my defense, I saw something shiny in the mushrooms, and I was like, "Can we go get it?" And Celeste was like, "No, we can't go get it. Look at all those bones." And I said, "Don't worry, I'll be really fast." And they jumped off, and I went and I got it. And it's this cool book full of magic. I was sort of hoping it was going to be a fun chat book, because I thought that would be a nice way to relax while we were flying across the mushroom. It was like a good story. And this was not. It was homework book, but it was fun because it was all about like teleporting and stuff. And I have to admit, thus far, that's the magic that's worked best for me, is the teleporting, because you could like jump right up in someone's face with Misty Step, and then you go chop, and it works very well. So I got back up on the carpet, but at that point I was feeling a little dizzy from the spores, and I thought that it made me think that was an amazing place. And I had dreams of opening like a bed and breakfast in this mushroom cave, because I think it would be fun, which does not sound like me, guys. That's not really my thing. But at the time it sounded great. Also, Brig got the same feelings where he didn't want to leave. So everybody else was having to kind of make us stay on the carpet with magic. They tried to hold person us, and then that wore off. And then we tried to jump off, and Baloth grabbed me with like a levitation spell, and I got to do cartwheels in the air, and it was a lot of fun. It was way more fun than the mushrooms, so I stopped thinking about those. But Brig jumped off, and he ran away into the mushrooms, and Averin chased him. This is where that part about the bag of holding becomes important, because Averin thought a good idea would be grab Brig with the bag of holding. So he did that, but he forgot that Brig also had a bag of holding. And it turns out if you put a bag of holding in a bag of holding, you blow up the entire world. Like all of reality. So then we were not in reality anymore. We were in a place, and it was all on one side it was light, and one side it was dark, and then there was gray in the middle, and they changed our clothes, and I had on these white robes, and I look better in purple, but that's okay. Or blue. Because then all these gods showed up, and they were like, "Yo, you broke reality. Tiamat's dead, cool, but also so is everything." So that's not a good thing. And so there was Orcus, and he was very like and intense. And then there was Selune, who was very chill, which is what I recall too. And then there was Lathander, who basically was shoving his cheekbones at everybody. And then there was this lady, the Raven Queen, who seemed really quiet and subdued. And I was a little worried that Orcus guy was like treating her bad. But I have to admit, I only know so much about religion because Dragonborn are like gods. But I didn't know who that lady was. So they told us that one of us had to sacrifice ourselves. So we go with that god when we die. But we kept trying to make the choice, and the gods kept saying, no, not that one, which is one of those things gods do, I hear a lot, where they want you to have free will, but they also want you to make the choice they want you to make. And so we kept trying, but then the Raven Queen started staring at me, like intense, like a lot. And she was really creepy and really cool. And I don't know, I feel conflicted about that. And then she told me something, and my brain turned inside out. I don't even know if I can describe it, but I knew that was the only thing that was gonna work. So everybody was like, Celeste was like, "I'll fight Orcus for eternity," and I bet Orcus would hate it if she picked that, because I think she would mess him up on the regular. And Averin was like, I'll do it. But I knew it wasn't going to work. So I said, I'll do it. And then all that stuff went away and we were back in the caverns. And everybody was a little upset with me, I think, because they didn't want me to choose, but they didn't hear the thing that turns your brain inside out. So then we kept going and we came into an old like mine shaft. There are all these minecart crisscrossing, and I thought about doing them like this, like monkey bars, but they were a little far apart. And then we started to go across with the magic carpet and walking on the rails. And then these things came out of the ground. This is the eyeball part. They were like beholders, but zombie beholders. They were like beholders, but they were rotting. But they didn't even like have their eye stalks. It was like illusion eye stalks, and they were like pointed at us. Okay, so all kinds of God, get that away!
No. For audio listeners, I held one up.
So those things were going off like bow, 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 bow. And a lot of stuff happened. A lot of people got paralyzed, and people got like the life sucked out of them. But the worst was Brig got like a whole hole through him, and he fell in the sad water. By the way, at the bottom there was more sad water. Oh, I forgot Averin fell in the first one. I feel like I should mention that because it doesn't really hurt Averin. It was like a spa. It was like an undead spa. So this he fell in again. The only thing was, if he fell and he kept falling, we were never going to get him back in either case. So it wasn't like, bye, Averin, enjoy your spa. It was like, oh no, we have to help you. And it's not hurting you, but it's going to hurt us. So what do we do? But this time, Averin fell in, but also Brig fell in, but also Brig got turned to stone. So he had got knocked unconscious by all the zapping, and then he got turned into stone, and then he was falling in the sad water. And he was stoned. And so that's all bad. And I was paralyzed. And I was like, I'm going to jump on the head of that beholder. And then I'm going to stab it in the eye. And I'm going to write it down. And then I'm going to rescue Brig. None of that happened. Just to be clear. Because instead, Baloth summoned Najim, who is his djinn. Maybe his boyfriend. I still haven't gotten that clear. And it looked like Najim had some work done. Because he had those cheekbones. But then I remembered Lathander had those cheekbones. And I was like, oh, this is a god thing. And so they were talking, and I was just sitting on the carpet because I was like, whoa, this is very interesting. and Baloth convinced Lathander to help us with saving Brig because he was in a lot of trouble. So that helped get Brig scooped up out of the water and put on the ledge on the far side. And I asked Brig later, and he said he had a vision of Lathander. And so I think all that goes together. I don't know a whole lot about Lathander except sun and cheekbones. I probably should learn some more now since he saved my friend. But we bopped over there fast because now Brig is like lying there and he's dead. And so Celeste put her paladin magic on him and brought him back. And then I was like, okay, I can't jump on a beholder's head and write it down into the water to save Averin. And Averin's going under, and we don't know how deep that is. So instead, I tried to Misty step down and grab him and then use the book to dimension door back up. And I was like, I'm going to do this magic. Great. It didn't go great. I fell off the side, and I hit a bunch of rocks. And then I almost drowned. But fortunately, Averin was like, seriously. And I suddenly was like, right, I don't want to look stupid here. And I grabbed onto Averin, and I teleported back up. And so we were all on the ledge. And then there were the zombie beholders. I forgot, too, that a lot of fireballs happened in the first part of this fight before people got zapped. So they were gross when they came out, and they were extra bad now. And so again, we had like lots of fighting with the smites and the fireballs and stuff. And I don't remember who exactly did what. I know I didn't do a whole lot here. That I did save Averin, and I want that on the record. So also I tried to slap him to wake him up, but if you slap a skeleton, it doesn't do anything except go clunk, 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 clunk. So we defeated the death tyrants, and then we said, okay, we're now close, and we left. So we went into the next space was like the map started being wrong. There were like things were collapsed, and we had to get through these kind of collapsed tunnels. But fortunately, we were good at finding traps and more of that sad water, and we jumped over it. And then we dug through the rocks, and Briggs sang a song about how we almost died, and it was very helpful. Oh, I forgot too. And we met that lady who might have been Tiamat, probably was Tiamat. He sang a song about Farida, which is a really good song, but I wish we'd sung the verse that was about me. I still love that song. So.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, he sang another song, and it was really actually very nice to work to, even though it was about how he almost died, which I'm not in favor of, but I am in favor of the song. Everyone should listen to it. So he dug through, and we got to the Forge of the Dwerger, where we're supposed to set the charges to blow up the volcano. Only problem is there's some stupid curse on this one too, and we had to speak in rhymes. I really hate speaking in rhymes. I'm not great at it. And so I did a lot of signing. I don't know how well anybody followed my signing, but we did manage to set all the smoke charges. Also, I think Celise had the right idea, because she was just like, I don't talk in this room. Fortunately, Baloth and Brig are really good at rhyming, so they could do most of the interpreting. But we set up all of the smoke powder out of the bag of holding, which miraculously got here because it went through a lot. I think they should have just let me carry it. But maybe that would have meant I drowned. But anyway, we set it all up. And then we heard something coming, and we were like, oh no. So we Baloth used a spell called Delayed Fireball. And so then we ran. And then it set up, we lit the wick, and then we ran, and the mountain was coming down, and we were almost out, and then this big white dragon appeared, and it turned out that Oil Slick and Apple Fig had a mom who was very angry that we had gotten her kids to fight each other. I think her name's Uvula. Anyway, that also went badly because she was very tough. So she hit Brig, I think, first. She breathed cold on all of us, and it didn't feel good. You think it would feel good because you're running from some lava, and it was very hot, but it did not. You would be wrong. That is not pleasant. So Brig went down, and then we were fighting her, and I was like, oh, I have this plane shift spell. Maybe I can save us all. But I also really, every time I try to do magic, it doesn't go very well. So instead, I was like, forget it. I'm going to go chop her. So I went and I hit her with my glaive, and it was like, and actually that part was very effective. And I felt like myself, and I really should remember that. Then she did that cold thing again, and she killed me. Except Erin had cast a death ward on me, so I didn't go down. So I got back up, but I knew at that point we were real screwed. So we kept attacking her. It did more damage. I decided, forget it, I'm going to try the plane shift. So we tried it. I don't know where we were going to go, but it doesn't matter because it turns out Tiamat can turn off your plane shift spells. I don't like her. So we got smooshed back. And then we did some more of the fighting, and Averin cast a power word kill on her, which killed the dragon. Except another reason not to like Tiamat is when you kill a dragon, she can make it turn into a Dracolich. So then the Dracolich came back, and the Dracolich knocked me out, and I was where I saw this like castle, and there's all these souls and shadows, and guys, I'm very concerned. I don't know what that is. I've definitely taken a lot of hits before. I've even been to the fugue plane. I never saw that before. So then the Dracolich kept fighting, and Celise jumped on it, and she was attacking it, and then it also got her. And then Avran tried to cast another spell that he said was power word stun, and I heard later that he said the power word stun was Havilar. So now I think we're friends. Also Baloth tried to do banishment, which has worked very well for him in the past because that is how he messed up that Kraken we had to fight back when we were in that town with the pirates. And then we it didn't work again because Tiamat didn't like it, which I don't think is fair. But she point out she's a god, so she gets to decide what's fair. And that's why my dad would say religion is a crock. Anyway, what we ended up doing, finally Baloth ended up casting Disintegrate. And the whole thing fell apart, and I heard that all that was left was its feet, which I think is very iconic. Also, Najim came back and Marmaduke. He has a lot of things. He has a lot of stuff when he fights. It's very convenient.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got out of there. We got back outside. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up because Freely was there and he was healing us. Not a lot, though. We are not feeling good. I will be honest. But Freely's like, hey, guess what? It's time to fight. We have to go fight Tiamat. And I'm like, didn't we just do that? Wasn't that what that was? And it turns out I slept through a different part of the meeting, which was after the volcano blows up and after the other team takes care of their part, we have to go actually fight Tiamat. I have saved some stuff up. I think I could still manage some cool things, but also I think I'm gonna die. And that was our adventures in the Trials of Mount Tiamat.
Yeah.
I maintain the only reason I do these shows is just that. That's it. It's my sole rationale.
Oh my
how am I
God.
going to hear I would just like to say I'm going to add Sneaky and Everybody Look at Me to my Twitter bio.
I think my favorite part of that was you being like, I still can't quite remember what his name is, and I swear to God, B-Dave and I shared a look through the screen. He's like, she's gonna say it. She's gonna say it. We're gonna lose it.
I felt bad because when we did it, Mark kept making Baloth say, I killed Halaster Blackcloak. And I'm like, I don't want to step all over your moment, but I really want Havilar to be like, I think his name's Alabaster Booty Clap.
Yep.
Because Mark wasn't here for that.
That's
He's
true.
Like, what are you doing?
That is true.
that is all true. Yeah, it was Iosioth and Aothiog were those dragon names, and JCM really did put their names into a song, which I'm like, I don't know how on earth. Yeah,
Man,
My mother's Uvris.
the Uvris of Uvula. Neph's Uvula though. That's true.
apple, fig, and oil.
Apple, fig, and oil slick. Yep. I'm like, this all seems legit. Yes.
In case you're not looking at chat, Erin, it is blowing up right now with amazing recap. Just stars, D20s clapping.
Yeah.
I will check out the VOD later.
I mean, if there were just some way to just skip us even doing the games and just go right to Havilar, just tell us what happened.
I know you and I already do 2 podcasts, but Erin, may I pitch you a third one where Havilar recaps all of your books?
Havilar presents. Havilar could just give us the news of the week. Just go down CNN, and I just want to know what Havilar thinks about stuff.
Stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
boy.
so Penguin Random House wants to buy this company called Super Shoes. Anyway, the Justice Department said no because you already have stuff like that, and that's too much stuff, and authors are important.
Yep. Again, Havilar presents stuff. Stuff this
Havilar
week.
presents stuff.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm in.
Oh,
I'm in.
God.
Yeah, and I'll just sit there and just nod along
Yep.
enthusiastically.
No. B-Dave and I will say very little. We will just be there to
mhm.
laugh in the background.
No, that was a very thorough recap. Sandwater
Well done.
is an apt description. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go, friends. If you haven't seen the first 3 chapters of Idle Champions Presents, you definitely should watch them.
Yes.
Because a lot happens.
A lot.
Speaking of a lot of stuff that happened, there was quite a bit of stuff in there that I think we haven't quite got to touch on. And I mean, we talked about Dracoliches recently. And we talked about beholders, but I don't think we actually talked about death tyrants.
We never talked about a death tyrant. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay, so here was an interesting thing, and there was just no way to get that in. And my babies.
Hey, the babies.
That's the blue. These are the icons of the realm. WizKids icon of the realm. That's the blue Dracolich. And that's the I like the green one because it's very much like circling you, all like predatory. Like, and sorry, I'm doing a bad. It's heavy. One. That's why it's hard to hold.
I fought that one in Neverwinter.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, big. I'll get you my pretty's energy from the.
Oh, I forgot. That seemed like the Death Tyrants had a relationship. It was very tragic, but also screw those guys.
Yeah. That's the backstory. That's the like they. Okay, so this was interesting because beholders hate everybody, including other beholders. So these two very much had like a frenemy, like love-hate relationship. Like I hate you less than everyone else. And so they would just sneak into this place to hang out and like fight and also not fight, if you know what I mean.
So they're the Carrie and Samantha of the beholder world.
Basically. And they get stuck down there and they die over time because they can't leave. And that's it, and then their bodies fall in the sad water, and then they become undead in the sad water. So it's like undead, fated lover beholders is basically what it was supposed to be. Yeah.
I love that.
That's pretty good.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it's awful.
I like that way of them becoming the death tyrants and whatnot. Because like I it was very recent. It was actually after the episode I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, I actually don't know how death tyrants get made. It's okay. We'll get worked out.
I was about to, but I think, it's just occurred to me. I think we've lost like half my audio. So I'm looking over here.
I will Frankenstein something out of this and it'll be fine. Worst comes to worst, I use the VOD. I looked it up and apparently the standard way death tyrants are made, because normal beholders are made for the dreams of other beholders, which is just a wild statement. And apparently death tyrants are made from when they have a bad dream. And I love that.
That is some like Freddy Krueger nightmare on the outer planes of aberration thing. Yeah. No, beholders. We have talked about the fact that like beholders are supremacists in the real sense of the word. They're like, not only are beholders better than everything else, I personally am better than the rest of the beholders.
Me personally.
Yeah, like I personally am the supreme being. Yeah, right. Yeah, so like love is not usually in the air for those things, and then and then they become undead. So that the first three adventures there, it's interesting because and I warned everybody in advance, it's intentionally a bit of a meat grinder, and it's supposed to be this kind of death of a thousand cuts type thing, because no one creature is that powerful, but contextually and where you run into them, it ends up being like a real problem. Yeah. So yeah.
Fun times.
Watching those hit points like, oh no.
Yeah.
Well, and it very much was like, well, it's funny because people talk about, because there's a level 17 campaign, and people talk about like, how do you challenge higher level groups? And this is exactly how you do it. It becomes less about what can you do, because they can do anything, and more about what should you do?
Yeah.
Because I warned them, I'm like, rest is going to be few and far between. So don't just like blow everything and think, oh, we'll just camp, because it's a ticking clock. Their group is doing something, and group 2, which was just announced, which we'll say who they are, is also in parallel doing a different thing. And there really was a contingency in the sense that if group 1 did not succeed, it would impact group 2, and it would impact the fight with Tiamat. So you guys what you did really did matter. So, but that's why I was like, go. Yeah. We can't stop. Otherwise we'll be there too late. Let me just say real quick, group 2, Hope Lavelle as Penelope Halfpint, Megan Kenrick as Whittle, Jim Zub as Minsk, Latia Jakis as Dahani Lai, and Sharif Jackson as Shaka are going to be our next group of heroes trying. Although they get to go be in the forest.
Yeah, it's gonna be fine.
It seems fine.
What
was bad happens in the forest, right?
Nothing bad ever happens in the forest. I say, clutching at this right here, then I'm like, no. Unilaterally happy things happen in the forest.
Little squirrels and bunnies.
There might be friendly squirrels in the woods. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Who can say? But
hopefully none of those squirrels are evil.
What is the monster that's like the crazy undead squirrels?
What?
I don't remember the name of it.
I mean, I need it now.
Yeah,
Hang on, let me one thing I do want to, it's like a slight tangent, but
I like where this is headed.
Speaking of star-crossed lovers such as the Death Tyrants, we should point at Bardic Inspiration did a song. I don't remember the name of the song.
I can get it real quick.
Orcus and the Raven Queen
Orcus
song.
My Sweet Raven Queen.
That is lore that we have just forced into existence. Like the three of us have hewn that out of solid rock. That Orcus just is really into the Raven Queen and she is not interested.
Well, I will say this song is very romantic. Like I kind of
JCM don't mess around.
No, yesterday on Bardic Inspiration, and unfortunately, because he texted me, he's like, "Hey, can you jump in?" And I was out, unfortunately, so I couldn't be there live. But yes, again, the Orcus with the boombox. We did it, y'all.
Apparently, I missed this part, but people are saying in the chat that in the song she does return his affections. So JCM's adding to the lore.
Yeah. He didn't want it to be. He mentioned he didn't want it to be non-consensual.
Well, that makes sense.
So,
that makes sense.
She could be into it and maybe just not wanting it to be public.
I was about to say, I have some insight into the Raven Queen. Maybe she's just messing with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's like, yeah, man, call off your armies and we can like see what's up. And then she's like, yeah. like here's what's up. Yeah. I will say one thing that didn't come up in Havilar's recap, which realistically Havilar wouldn't have known, was Balot's interaction with Gratz, which I really enjoyed.
I forgot about that.
Well, she didn't know. She couldn't hear him. You know what I mean? I did appreciate making Gratz just the broiest Axe body spray.
And he did the voice is just so good. That's exactly how I'm gonna do Gratz in all of my games now.
Hey bro, Balot, hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah. Kind of in the middle of a thing right now, but hey, you good out there? All right, yeah.
I just realized you essentially played Gratz like the demons in The Good Place, and with the axe and everything. Yeah. How do you smell both loud and confusing?
The squirrel monsters are called Skirids. They are squirrel-like creatures native to the plane of shadows.
Wait, I need you to put that word in chat. I do not know these monsters, and I guarantee you they are going to make an appearance in Arizona. I didn't know shadow squirrels.
They are not from 5th edition.
So but it is S. So for everybody looking it up, it is Skiurid. Skirid.
Sounds terrifying.
I'm feeling deeply lied to. That shadow squirrels.
Whoa! What is that?
Has been denied to me up until now. Oh yeah, those are coming back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
They're like squirrels that can cast darkness, and the darkness drains life from other creatures, transforming it into nuggets of shadow, which I think they can eat.
I mean, Nuggets of Shadow was my band name.
Oh yeah, these are great. I love it.
Yeah, no, those are coming back. Yep.
Straight nightmare fuel, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I where it is, I do a lot of Ravenloft. We are going to see Dark Squirrels. And they'll have you to thank, Erin M. Evans.
God. If you put that in Black Dice Society, Tatiana will 100% try to befriend them and then wonder why they attack her.
I'm equally split between Penelope Halfpint and Tatiana.
Yes!
Both of them would equally take the bait of shadow squirrels. Yes, equally. Yeah.
Listen. So we're actually getting towards the end of the episode. Just surprisingly, that recap went by so fast.
It was really great.
One more tiny tangent before we go to
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
So what comes out today is Witchlight, a new addition to the Witchlight. And just so you know, this is the first adventure that I wrote. So that's
Hey!
and there's an Easter egg in there for all of you lovely Champions of Lore viewers.
Hey,
What it could
congratulations.
be.
Congratulations.
There might be, you may Baloth might not be the only one that gets to kill someone. I'm just saying.
There's another announcement today that I don't want to mess up. I will be tweeting about it at roughly 3:00 Pacific.
There you go.
You'll get to see another thing. Here, I'll tell you here in chat. Here.
Oh god. But yeah, let's check in with the listeners, viewers and listeners real quick, and see what we got going on. What is this question, Cassius? Cassius 335 question. Speaking of emotional trauma, how much access does Tiamat have to Mayo?
Oh, you guys had that jar of the
It was last night. It's the Heroes of the Plane thing.
Oh, okay.
Or Kira with the mayo jar. So rubbing it on Whittle to soothe her burns. Yeah, it was. I don't know that's how it works. I don't know that Mayo on a vampire that like cues radiant damage.
Mayo on a vampire is my band.
Right. Yep.
It's my Vampire Weekend cover band. We had a player in the last campaign I was in. He was a halfling artificer with an alchemy jug, and just anytime he's just like, oh, we can't squeeze through there, Mayo just poured it on himself and just like, all right, I'm gonna slide through. Let's see. Catch 23 says, question, do you think last night was Todd messing with you for saying boo Bahamut all the time?
So I have put myself into a very complicated position where I myself am very much an aficionado of Tiamat. I'm firmly on her side and Bahamut is dumb. But Freely, being such a sweet boy, is like looks up to Bahamut. In some versions of his ultimate outcome, he becomes a herald of Bahamut. So Freely thinks Bahamut is great. I myself think Bahamut's really dumb. So, whenever Bahamut enters the narrative, I have very complex feelings from this. So yes, I do think it was just a little bit of little bit of that right there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm like, thank you. Okay, great, sure.
I'll just be over here. Don't worry about me.
I'm good. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just a tis but a scratch. Yeah. Yeah.
Evil Berserk said it's Havilar, the Lewis of Idle Champions universe. Where
have you been?
Which, by the way, I think one of the best things that could happen is if we took the audio of you doing that and placed it over the scenes of it happening, or animate it somehow.
You have to animate it, I think, because otherwise it's just like people in boxes talking. And then we have that would be delightful. That
would be good.
It's like I said, I'm only doing this to give you material for the Havilar recaps.
The real Bunny Beast says, wait, so the beholders are the results of good dreams? Yep, that's a good dream to them. Just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare is a good dream. What is a bad dream for them then?
I think it's specifically for the Death Tyrants that it's a dream of living beyond. Like they dream of undeath, basically. So if they dream of persisting beyond their own mortal lives, they generate, someone else gets that, basically.
See, I just picture this beholder all curled up with its eye stalks and then going,
But again, is it like full Nightmare on Elm Street that it's like right there now, like duh, or is it there's like a death tyrant somewhere? You know what I mean? Like an angel gets its wings type thing, like a death tyrant erupts into existence.
Yeah, that is something I've always wondered, because the coming out of the mind sort of thing makes me think of Greek mythology and whatnot, with Zeus just being like, hey, there needs to be another god. There we go. And so it's always made me wonder if that's what beholders, the beholder wakes up and there's another beholder there's again, there's the door, just go.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, maybe that's why they're all supremacists. That I'm all like, I literally dreamed you up. You're lame. Get out of my face.
You're lame.
You're lame. Yeah, right. You're like you're a subsection of me when I was resting. Stop it. You know what I mean? Disintegrate. Yeah. No, that fight ended up being so rough because, dear viewer, if you haven't seen it, and you should watch it, I had numbered everybody on the screen, and then the eye tyrants have 10 beams, and I rolled 2 dice. Who are they attacking and what beam are they shooting? You know what I mean? It was just pure fate and chance, and it worked out well a couple of times. Like the fear beam was supposed to hit Celise. Celise is immune to fear, you know, but it's for the most part it did not go well. Yeah.
It went well for
Made
entertainment.
it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it went great for me. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's and the, you know, spoiler alert, when you kill the second white, or I guess third white dragon, she does come back as a Draco Lich. But to have had Averin in particular power word kill, like, I didn't do that. What my fault? Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. Everybody saw you do it, dude. Everybody saw you kill her with necromantic magic, and then she came back all undead. We literally all watched it happen. Yep.
I believe there was a lot of side eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute. So the last question we got here is from Garwar. And Garwar says, is Party 2 level 20, or will they be 17 as well?
17.
17?
17.
Good. They get an advantage. We didn't. I'd be mad.
I
I mean, aside from only getting to go in the forest instead of a volcano.
Yeah, right. Well, that's why they sent the biggest bruisers, you know, down on the. You got to go destroy the Death Star and narrowly escape. You know. Yeah. I did appreciate every time. Have murder bears. That's the. Now we're tangenting again, especially because we're going here into the delightful forest where nothing terrible is going to happen.
Absolutely not. It's going to be a great time of sunshine and rainbows.
Every time people like Ewoks are stupid, I'm like, they're murder bears that are in the forest murdering and eating people. What are you talking about? Like all those empty stormtrooper helmets at the end. What do you think happened to those dudes?
I remember watching that as a kid, just be like, "Yay, they won! Woo!" And then watching that later as like a young adult, just going, "Wait a minute." That's
of like, it's cute, it's easy, it's fun, and you're like, oh no, it's not.
Oh yes. I'm like, oh yes. That's
how it will actually go. It's like, we're gonna go in the forest.
That's the timeless question of why did they have a dress that fit Leia? Well, don't ask what happened to the person that used to wear it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do think one of the best jokes that's ever been done at my table was during Tomb of Annihilation. There's those koala monster things in Chult, and I literally had one drop bear someone where it just dropped out of the sky and took someone to 2 hit points. And one of my players goes, "Well, at least we know this place is safe from the Empire."
Nice.
That was good stuff.
Valid.
Good
Yeah.
stuff.
I will say I did get since we've talked about Tiamat before. All hail the Dark Lady. That's you guys are seeing, as I said before, that's my version of Tiamat, that she's more this like trickster person, that she's like, hey, I just want to bring peace. Notice at no point did she say she wanted to bring order. She was like, I'll bring peace. I'm the supreme authority. There'll be nothing left to fight about. It'll be fine. Come on. Like, why don't you want peace?
Yeah. Come on.
Now. Yeah. It's like, I know you hero types. You won't join me. You just have to leave. Just go home.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad deal.
She's not being unreasonable. I mean,
I don't know why no one ever takes the deal, but it's not a bad deal.
Reasonable.
Yeah. I appreciate you were like, she's triple Lorcan.
Yeah, that was so good. I'm gonna take my Tiamat card and just write over it triple Lorcan.
Triple Lorcan. Yep. Tiamat also doesn't wear a shirt.
She's got 5 heads, so maybe it's what's quintuple.
Pintuple Lorcan.
5 couple. There we go. I like 5
tuple Lorcan.
On the blue head.
Hey, she's gonna be ready for you. Yeah, that's gonna be.
That's why she was mad at me, because I said that to her face accidentally.
You did literally mention that you're gonna cut off one of her heads. That is, yeah, right.
Well, that is all the time we have for this week's episode. Friends, where can people find you? What awesome things you working on?
You can find me on Twitter at Erin M. Evans. You can listen to me with these guys on Writing About Dragons and Shit, a podcast about writing, which new episode comes up hopefully later today.
At some point.
And on Wednesdays at 6:30 on twitch.tv/Dungeon Scrawlers, I play Cecilia in a Forgotten Realms set actual play show with a bunch of other fantasy writers. And this weekend on Saturday is Extra Life's Day of Gaming. So we are putting together a 24-hour run of D&D. It's going to be a lot.
A lot of D&D.
It's $5 pays for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
So we have a lot of really excellent guests, including Trevor is going to run a sequel for his Hotel at the End of the Multiverse that was on difficulty class with Jeremy Cobb and Jasper William Cartwright and Lauren Urban joining us, in addition to just a lot of other fun stuff. So we are raising money for Extra Life to benefit Children's Miracle Network hospitals. I have a link to my fundraising page on my Twitter at the top. So that's a great place to go start because I have some fun incentives in there, and so does everybody on the team. So go ahead and click around and help us raise some money for Extra Life. And also there will be Idle Champions dress codes. I'm just saying all day.
There we go.
I'm all over the place. I don't expect you to try and keep up with it. Just follow me at bdavewalters on the tweetagrams. But next Monday at 4, Party 2 starts with Penelope Halfpint, Whittle, Minsk, and Boo. Dahani, Lai, and Shaka. I will just say, Tiamat told Celise outright that if she brought Fenris to the battle, Tiamat would harm him first. So I don't know what she's gonna do when she sees Boo, the miniature giant space hamster.
You leave that precious boy alone, you monster. He look at him. He did nothing wrong to you. Nothing wrong to you.
He's going to try. First of all, he's going to try and chew on an eyeball. Let's just admit that we all can accept that.
My cat did not like that I started petting that fake hamster.
Yeah,
she's now trying to bite me.
The cat is very pro Tiamat. She understands. Yes, and Tiamat feels exactly the same. Like, what is this beloved tiny brown furry thing?
My cat would be pro Tiamat. Calm down there.
All cats are pro Tiamat.
Any other places they can find you and whatnot?
Follow me on the tweetagrams at bdavewalters. I'm all over.
On this channel for the next setup. You said that. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. Somehow we got talking about Boo, and I forgot a bunch. And
That's true.
Havilar brain.
That's I love your Havilar brain. Yep. And a lot of other stuff. I guess next Monday, Bria will be on Demiplanar with me. So there you go. You get right. We'll do that. 11 a.m. next Monday, and a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff.
Some Garward just put Tia Cat in the chat now.
Tia Cat. That's it.
There we go.
You can find me on Champions Psychology here on twitch.tv/CNE Games every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Tuesdays, I think I said that part. Anywho, but yeah, more importantly, this Saturday, come check out all the Extra Life stuff on Dungeons Scrawlers. I'm gonna be running a game. It's called Marriage, the Multiverse, and Everything. Find out why. It's at 2:30 on Saturday Pacific Standard Time.
So what if I know?
But yeah, that is gonna do it for this week's episode. So until next week, champions out.